In project management, we need to know how money is being spent, and that's done through cost control. Cost control is an ongoing process that involves three elements: creating a budget, tracking expenses, and reporting on your findings. Let's look at those three elements in detail, including the steps that make up each process and the benefits of following an effective cost control approach. First, creating a project budget involves two primary steps. To start, identify all potential costs. Ask yourself, what are we spending money on? Gather your team and brainstorm labor, materials, and travel costs. Consider all contingencies, which are factors outside of your control. Second, with that information, create a time-based budget. Consider your schedule and scope. How much will you spend during each project phase? Ask if you need a contingency allowance. Analyze what's worked in the past, and consider the opinions of your team members and stakeholders. Once you have a budget in place, the next step is to ensure that the budget is used as planned, and that's done through consistent tracking and reporting. When tracking expenses, you'll want to pay attention to two things. First, effective tracking starts with accurate recording. Record expenses by documenting everything in real time. You can do that by delegating cost controls. Assign one or several team members to record expense items so that nothing is missed. Second, identify deviations. Consider how much you've budgeted for this tracking period, how much you've actually spent, and the difference between those two numbers. By comparing those results, you can spot problems more quickly. As you continue to record expenses and identify deviations, you'll also want to report on those findings through ongoing communication, revisiting, and reforecasting. Let's take a look. As the final element of cost management, reporting expenses involves two core components. The first component requires communicating your findings. Regularly meet with your team and stakeholders. Share expense reports, use status reports to point out problems, and cover all significant findings during your stand-up meetings. Second, you also need to report on changes by revisiting the budget and reforecasting. If your initial budget is wrong, revisit why. Then, update the forecast and document those changes. It's better to adjust to surprises midway through the project than to wait until you're closing it out. A project's success depends on how well costs are managed. And when you manage your costs in this way, it leads to several benefits. Let's take a look at 4 benefits of controlling costs. First, cost control helps you identify overruns. If you're over budget, you'll know, and you can then take corrective actions. Second, it builds trust. That's particularly important when dealing with investors and stakeholders. If everyone can see where their money is being spent, they're more likely to trust you. Third, ongoing cost control improves your future forecasting. It gives you a record of what works and what doesn't. And then you can use that information when creating your next budget. Finally, cost control helps you maintain financial awareness. That's because every expenditure is documented and monitored. You'll always understand how your finances are being utilized. To meet your bottom line, you have to be aware of your finances. Keep these 3 cost control elements in mind, and you'll maintain more successful projects. Because to control your projects, you must control your costs.